Psychologists have studied the importance of symbols and found people, whether conscious of it or not, are drawn to symbols of immortality, like the Egyptian ankh, or hearts, crosses, and flags. History has uncovered jewelry and decorations with these symbols on it, dating hundreds of years back. And in this episode, we'll talk about how these art, designs, and symbols not only adorn the belongings of people in the past, but were also used to decorate the body. Nowadays, 3 out of 10 Americans get inked, and not necessarily as a symbol for prolonging life, but it may remind them of milestones in their lives, or important people they've lost, or even that our lower backs wouldn't be complete without a strategically placed butterfly. I'm your host, Emily Prokop, and this is the story behind tattoos. But first, a quick message. Patch of Sky Farm creates skin and body care products with natural ingredients sourced from local Vermont farms. Products and services include herbal tattoo and skin care, nutritional services, and upcycled crafts. Joanna from Patch of Sky Farm was nice enough to send me samples of the tattoo salve and lip balm to try, and I have to say, I love them. They're not like the herbal products you might find that smell like what I would describe as dirty hippie smell. These are clean, fresh fragrances like the lavender peppermint lip balm. Now, I don't have tattoos, but I can use the tattoo salve to moisturize dry skin or use it on burns, cuts, or scrapes. So I put my sample in my diaper bag ready to go. And with 2 kids, I have a feeling I'll use it soon enough. One thing I love about Patch of Sky Farm is Joanna was inspired to create this because she noticed a lack of natural, organic skincare on the market, especially for tattoo recovery. So she began making her own with resources on her Vermont farm. Visit patchofskyfarm.com and there will be a link in the show notes in case you can't write it down right now. In the last episode, the story behind ear piercing, we talked about Otzi the Iceman, who is the oldest mummified human found, dating back to 5,300 years ago. Not only did he show evidence of pierced ears, but he also had at least 57 tattoos. These aren't thought to be decorative, though. The tattoos consist of dots and small crosses from his ankles to his neck. These are thought to be medicinal since they correspond to joints that would have been strained throughout his lifetime. Thousands of years later, the tradition of tattoos continued with the Egyptians, especially females. Mummified women were found to have tattoos on the tops of their thighs, breasts, and stomachs. And this is thought to have been done as protection during pregnancy and labor. Tattoos have been popular for centuries all over the world, with evidence found in Greece, Italy, China, Japan, and the Polynesian Islands, where the word tattoo comes from. It's from the Tahitian word tatau, meaning to hit or strike. The practice was brought to Europe following Captain James Cook's expedition in 1769. When missionaries came to the islands and converted natives to Christianity, they tried to stop the practice of tattooing. It was thought to damage the body that was supposed to be kept a temple, but banning it was unsuccessful and tattoos even spread in popularity, especially as a good luck charm among workers with high-risk jobs like miners or sailors. Like in the last episode, sailors come into play yet again because of the superstitions and, more importantly, the amulet-like properties associated with tattoos. It's a toss-up who is more superstitious, actors or sailors. But aside from the occasional real life replacing a stage knife, acting doesn't come with as many fatalities as sailing does. And being out on the open seas for months or years at a time can really test one's patience and faith. It's no wonder sailors, and also military personnel serving at sea, sought anything that gave them a bit more luck or to remind them of how far they've traveled, like a hula girl for Hawaii or a dragon for China. Swallows were earned every 5,000 nautical miles traveled, and anchors indicated the sailor had crossed the Atlantic Ocean. Tattoos for luck included foot tattoos of pigs and roosters, which were shipped in crates during World War II, and in the case of a shipwreck, these crates would float and the animals would survive. Tattooing them on sailors' feet was in hopes the sailor would survive drowning. You've most likely seen nautical stars more often, as they're a particularly popular tattoo. That and a compass rose were symbols for the sailor to find his way home. And next time you're in Macy's, You can tell your friends that the red star in the logo is part of the founder R.H. Macy's tattoo. The man most known for iconic tattoo designs, especially the ones associated with the sea, is Norman Collins, known more frequently as Sailor Jerry. Influenced by Eastern art and technique, he made a name for himself in Hawaii, developing his own pigments and influencing generations of future tattoo artists, including Ed Hardy. He was also responsible for popularizing single-use needles and using an autoclave to sterilize the instruments. And speaking of instruments, did you know Thomas Edison is the man behind the tattoo machine? Kind of. Before the tattoo machines we have today, Native Americans and people of Polynesian and Hawaiian islands used sharpened bones or rocks to carve designs into the flesh and then fill the wounds with soot from burnt candle nut shells or natural dye. The intricate and large tattoos associated with Samoan culture were made using a bamboo cutting tool with a comb that was dipped in ink and pierced the skin with the designs. A similar procedure was used in the 19th century when gypsies in Egypt tied several needles together and pricked the skin, filling it with the soot of burnt wood or oil mixed with breast milk. But as with many episodes of The Story Behind, someone finally said, "There's got to be a better way." When Thomas Edison invented the electric pen in 1876, it used a small motor to power a needle up and down on a piece of paper as a person was writing, creating a stencil to make copying easier. Unfortunately, it didn't catch on, but when tattoo artist Samuel F. O'Reilly saw the electric pen, he realized this could be a much faster way to tattoo the skin, since the standard tattoo artist could only puncture the skin 2 or 3 times per second, while the machine sped the process up to 50 times per second. In the 120 years tattoo machines have been used, there have been very little in the way of differences between O'Reilly's original idea and what tattoo artists use today. Thanks to listeners Justin Esquivel from the Epic Film Guys, Patrick Sherwood, and Adam Higgins from Odd Dad Out in the Story Behind Facebook page to use for episode art this week. If you want to be part of future episodes, follow The Story Behind on social media, @StoryBehindPod on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Information for this episode was sourced from Smithsonian Magazine, Inked Magazine, The Atlantic, and more links, which can be found in the show notes at thestorybehindpodcast.com. Subscribe on your favorite podcast app so you'll never miss an episode. Thanks for listening.